Today, we are here to stand with everyone in Chicago on Friday who shut Trump down. Because that's a kind of people's movement we need all over the country that says no to racism, no to Islamophobia, no to the wars, no to the attacks on immigrants, that says yes for people's struggle and resistance and does it in the streets and in the arenas. That's a kind of people's movement that is needed all across the country, and that's a kind of people's movement that makes real change. We're here to stand with the people of Syria who are resisting a U.S. war and takeover, and people of Yemen who are under U.S. Saudi bombs. We're also here with the people of Flint who are facing a poisoning of their water, and it's the same for people in Newark. All across the country, the wars come home in real destruction right here. In both racism, in attacks on immigrants, but also in the destruction of our schools, the water, the infrastructure. All of that is part of the war on the world and a war on the poor and working people right here. None of these issues are being addressed by any of the major candidates. So when we talk about resistance, we want to connect with the Black Lives Matter movement, who has again and again been in the streets shutting it down against mass incarceration, against police murders. That resistance has put everyone on notice, and it's put NYPD on notice too. It's also been a training for the kind of resistance we need against Trump and against whoever is elected, because they carry out U.S. wars. Now, with people's resistance, I want to really introduce our next speaker, who is running on a people's campaign against racism and war, against attacks on immigrants. Monica Moorhead, she's a presidential candidate for Workers' World Party, and she's part of the example of the movement from below that addresses people's needs. Thank you.
I was listening to your comment on the mic. What do you think the next step will be?
Well, what we're trying to do is to address the fact that none of the candidates, major candidates for U.S. office, are addressing the wars that the U.S. is engaged in around the world, especially the war in Syria, the absolute destruction, acting through Saudi Arabia, through Turkey, through Israel, openly bombing. So we want to bring a message of no to the wars. And the wars come home here in the poisoned water, the destroyed infrastructure right here in the U.S. because so much money is spent for war. It comes home also in militarized police, in mass incarceration, jails and prisons in the U.S. And we're combining these issues together.
Thank you. You've been monitoring the situation in Syria, and this is 5 years. We have seen changes happening lately. What do you think about that?
Well, I still think it's totally up to the Syrian people to decide their future. And I think that the solidarity that has come from Russia, from Iran, from Hezbollah in Lebanon, that's important, because everyone in the world knows that if Syria were to fall, this would be an expansion of even more U.S. wars. So Syria's resistance is important for the whole world, and we really hope that they can continue this resistance. It seems that there has been a real turnaround, and there's been a turnaround because the people of Syria stood up.
What you would like to say to the president in Syria and also to the army?
To stand strong, the people of the world are with you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.